Hi everyone, Sandra Carr-Moore here. I went to church today, and for the last couple of weeks, my pastor, Reverend Al Miller, has been speaking about crazy love. I'm fascinated by the love of God for us because everything that he has gone through, even before he came to earth, depicts his love. While I was in church, I was led to Psalms 15. And oh my goodness, I want to read all of it, although there is only one verse that has been laid on my heart. So I'm rushing to get the Bible because I'm using the tablet to record, and generally I use the tablet to read the Bible. Psalm 15 speaks about Psalm 15. It has about 5 verses, and Psalm 15 speaks about, it says, Lord, who shall abide in thy tabernacle? Who shall dwell in thy holy hill? He that walketh uprightly and worketh righteousness, and speaketh the truth in his heart. He that backbiteth not with his tongue, nor doeth evil to his neighbor, nor taketh up a reproach against his neighbor, in whose eyes a vile person is contempt, but he honoureth them that fear the Lord. He that swear, oh my God, this is a verse that really gets me, right? He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. He that putteth not out his money to usury, nor taketh reward against the innocent. He that doeth these things shall never be moved. So the verse that I've read the psalm before, and the verse that always sticks out and grips my heart has been verse 4, which says, in whose eyes a vile person is contempt, but he honoureth them that fear the Lord. He that sweareth to his own hurt and changeth not. And when I think of that, I made a few notes, and I'm just going to share the notes that I made. The notes comes from the message. It also comes from this verse that I'm reading, and the message was about crazy love, the crazy love that God has for us, and some of the things that he went through, being the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He just did not have to, and it makes no sense to the natural man, but because of his love towards us, he caused his son to come down and die for our sin, for our suffering. The first point I have is suffering for righteousness. It speaks to being hurt, confessing your own hurt and not changing. Now, the next point that I'm coming, it's not after this, but this leads you to the point that says, for you to not change your behavior, irrespective of the negative influences and effects coming at you, it leaves the assumption that you are following the principles of the Bible in the first place. So when we are following the principles of the Bible, there are no guarantees that life is going to be sweet and rosy and everything is just going to fall in your lap. It's going to be rough, because we are suffering for righteousness. We are following a man who came to earth and who had no other experience but a lot of suffering. Persons challenging him, challenging his intellect, challenging his birth, challenging where he was born and his right to be, speaking so eloquently and forcibly about issues that he had no business, they believe. So another point I have is that overcoming is not changing to be the worst. When you're overcoming, God gives you the power to overcome, and when you overcome, you don't change for the worst, right? You don't become evil. You do not repay evil for evil, but you repay good for the evil that persons have done for you. And we have to have hope in God, and this hope comes from the acts of God, that he sent his son to die for us as a way for us to know that he loves us. But the hope also comes from the acts of good people. And when I say good people, I'm not talking about church people, as we stereotype, because there are persons who are not attending church but have decided to live good lives, and these persons are all to be seen as good because they are at a different journey with God, and we should not judge people based on the journey that they have with God, because God seeks to have an individual relationship with us all. And another evidence of the good of God work is when he uses the evil in the world to work towards our good, which leads me to Romans 8:28. For we know that all things work together for the good of those who are called according to his purpose, those who are loved of God. And some people want to think it's just the preachers and the persons who are in leadership in the church and wherever else. No, God came to die for every single one of us, and so every single one of us is counted within this verse that says all of us, God is determined to let every evil act to work together for our good. Either we're going to learn a lesson from it, either in the end it will be made right, or even if after you're dead somebody will be able to say, okay, this person showed a positive example, and it will be shared and replicated by the younger generation. So I would like to also share that taking care of yourself, it shows love of God for you, and it shows the love of God for yourself. You cannot love God and not love yourself, because God died for you, which makes you special. So if you're not eating properly, if you're not exercising, even though it hurts like heck, if you're not exercising, you're not showing the love of God for you. And if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love others, right? So the final point is that I want to charge you to read the Bible more, and in reading the Bible, I want you to review the experiences of the Bible, considering the mental attitude of the people of that time, considering the spiritual level of the persons at that time, considering the self-sacrifice that is necessary at that time, considering the social conditions of that time, and considering also that persons during that time lived longer lives. So and with all of that, we would know what it will require for us in this day and age to be more and more like Jesus, because a lot of the things that are real in the days of the Bible are not real now. So we need to consider all of these and then try and make a transition to the realities of our life, so that we can bring Christ within ourselves, within our lives, in a real and true way, because God seeks individual relationship with us all, and he also seeks to meet you and commune with you based on who you are. Verses given and read, I'm not going to go through them, but I'm going to list them. Romans 5 verse 5, 1 John 4 verse 11, John 17 verse 18 and 20, 1 John 4 verse 7 to 8, and Mark 16 verse 16. God is love, and every form of love within the world is of God, and by God, and in God, and through God. The devil corrupts everything that is of God. So we must love if we are of God, and if we are truly walking with him. Sandra Carr-Moore, I'm out.